Hi, this is Ann with Fiber Designs by Ann, and today we're making a fabric napkin ring in the shape of a leaf. I use Terial Magic to stiffen the fabric, and Terial Arts makes Terial Magic, and this is my little disclaimer, they are not paying me to make this video. I just really like this product and I've been exploring it a lot. To find out how I stiffen the fabric for this project and many others, I've left a link where I show exactly how I treat the fabric. Here are the tools and materials you'll need. You'll need a decorative blade rotary cutter and a mat, the paper pattern, which I provide with instructions on my blog, a piece of freezer paper big enough to cover the pattern, and a strip of fabric, the measurements will be on the instructions, of treated fabric, a black marker, and thread that matches, and a regular sewing machine that sews a straight stitch, 22 gauge wire, I like coated wire for the white leaf, regular paper scissors, fabric or clipping scissors, and diagonals or wire cutters for that wire. And you'll also need an iron and an ironing surface. We're going to start by laying the freezer paper on top of the pattern. We'll use the black marker to draw a line just around the pattern. Make sure you're on the dull side, not the shiny side. Then I'll take paper scissors and I'll cut the pattern out just on the line. Now I'll take my strip of fabric and I'll fold it in half, just make a little crease at the fold. And I'll take the pattern and I'll set the straight edge on that fold and center it. And I'm going to take my iron and press that on very well. Hot dry iron, by the way. And I'll fold it in half again. And now I'm going to use my mat, and I would suggest using either an old mat or the back side of a mat. I'm using my good side, and that wasn't the best idea. Those blades can sometimes gouge the mat. Even a self-healing mat can be gouged. And I'll line the fabric up and cut not on the pattern piece but just to the side. Press down rather hard and then just pull that fabric away. And now you can line this up at the bottom. I did not do it here so that it's more symmetrical, so that the tip and the cutting scallopy part will be more symmetrical. It's not that big a deal. It works either way. So I'm a little bit off there, but it's okay. And I will remove that freezer paper, which can be used many times over to make more of these. And I have this sort of mustache piece, and I'll fold it in half. If it had been symmetrical, all those little scallops would have lined up, but as I said, it doesn't matter. It's not that, once it's opened up, you wouldn't even know that they didn't match. So now I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll start down a ways from the point, back up to the point, and then stitch all the way across to the other end. And I've just finger pressed it at this point. So I will, as I said, start down a ways. On the fold, I'm about 1/8 of an inch away, and make a couple stitches there just to lock the threads. And I hold those threads to help keep that point from going down into the machine. And then I'll stitch up to the end, as I said, and then back down all the way the length of the leaf. And when I get to the other end, I will do the same, or the opposite. I'll go all the way to the end, same thing, and back it down. You have to just be a little careful that it doesn't push down into your machine there. and back it down and cut it. So that I do that so that the threads won't be at the very tip of the piece. And cut the threads. And you can open it up and take a look, and if the tip is really hanging out past the stitching, you can take your scissors and just clip that off. If it's symmetrical, it's less likely to need clipping. That's up to you. You don't have to clip it off. And then I'll open it very well. Just finger press it open. I had a little crease there from my presser foot bending the fabric, but that's all right. And once it's pressed all open, it's ready for me to insert the wire. So I'll use the tip of my scissors. You can try it, just use the wire, but I find it's easier to put a toothpick or the point of a scissor, something in there to just open that little casing, that little channel up a little bit. And then I'll feed the wire through all the way to the end, and actually just out the end a little bit. And then I'm going to back it out, back in to the end a little bit past the end, and I'm going to clip the excess off. Be careful here, either close your eyes or look away. Just make sure you don't have any accident with that piece that you clipped off flying anywhere. And then I'll open it right up, and it's just that easy. I'll start shaping it, and I find that after getting it just to this point about, it's easier to get a napkin and slide it in there so that you're actually shaping it around the napkin. And this is sort of an elegant, I think, of bridal look with the white napkin and the white leaf. You could also, as I'll show next, do this with a color napkin or a white napkin and add, I glued a little bit of rhinestone pieces onto the petals for a little jazzier look. Or you could take a color fabric. I used a green batik and made the leaf out of the batik, and instead of folding it the regular way, I flipped it so that that seam, that casing, was on the outside, and it gave the leaf more dimension. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and this is Anne with Fiber Designs by Anne. Thanks a lot for being here.